Hello to the TheKomboKasters once again for yet another movie review. This time, The Flash, starring Ezra Miller. I know this movie is very controversial, a lot of boycotting and stuff. Still enjoyed the movie. Still very good.
With me here, Jack, as well. As Dan just said, both watched The Flash together. And, both thought it was pretty good, actually. Yeah. The only gripe I had with it was the CGI, but other than that, I thoroughly enjoyed watching the film. I had some good laughs out of it, had some cool action sequences. But yeah, the only downside was that CGI.
Yeah, it was more noticeable when the two Barrys were together.
Yeah.
Like, you could see, like, which one wasn't, the face was put on, the CG face was put on when he was wearing the mask. Like, in the more up-to-date suit, not the spray-painted bat suit. But, spoiler-free part. So Barry goes back in time, try and save his mum from being murdered, and ends up messing up the timeline. That's about it.
All sorts of shit happens. Yeah, all sorts of shit happens. As you see from the trailer, you can see Michael Keaton, such a cool Batman, and I really was fascinated by him. He's not my favourite Batman, Christian Bale is, but seeing Michael Keaton get another chance at portraying Bruce Wayne and Batman was pretty awesome. Didn't disappoint, and he was in it longer than what we thought.
Yeah, like good solid hour. Yeah, and it's good to see him. Like, we haven't really seen an older Batman on screen before, like live action, and it's good to see a Batman that can still move. Like Michael Keaton, like in his two films that he was in, he was never like proper like Batman style fighting. Flying all over the room, like. But in this film, he really showed that, and it was showing as if, like, with years of experience, he eventually gained that sort of skill. Yeah, it was just good to see an older Batman still kicking ass. It was good to see Michael Keaton doing that, because I thought it was a good choice. I don't think anyone would have enjoyed anyone else other than Michael Keaton in that role.
I just had a great thought. Batman Beyond with Michael Keaton as Bruce Wayne, and then Terry McGinnis comes. That'd be sick.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I don't know if we're gonna get that. Well, I don't know. It would be cool. I'm sure he would, with enough money, probably.
Yeah. I mean, he loves the role anyway, doesn't he? He loves. Yeah. Ezra Miller did a great performance as the Flash, and I hated that. I loved that. I don't really know what he's done overall to make him so controversial. I've kind of just ignored it all and kind of just watched the film for what it was.
I think it's just like a whole bunch of things like kidnapping and all sorts of like harassment and
God.
Yeah, but I think it's just like they've gotten away with it. Hollywood's just sheltering them, so yeah, I think that's the main thing.
Yeah.
But yeah. Besides the point.
But besides all that, anyway, the film, thoroughly enjoyable, and it's hard to explain this film without getting into spoilers, so we may have to go into spoilers a bit earlier. I recently discovered that watching The Flash myself, I thought, if I was The Flash, I'd be pretty cool. And I thought, no, actually, I'd be a terrible Flash. I'd be the worst Flash in the world. Do you want to know why? Because I most likely have IBS. So being The Flash... and normally I'm, after we meet up, I'm like, shit, I need the toilet really badly. I'm running up that hill. And being the Flash, I'd be terrible because I'd be sprinting, but I would be shitting myself non-stop. I'd be leaving skid marks up the road or fucking,
That should be your name. Skid mark.
Skid mark.
Because it's just like leaving marks on the road, but also shitting yourself. We talked about that for a good minute. Yeah. Sorry about that.
I literally, just in my head, just thought, worst Flash ever. Constantly need the toilet as well. Trying to save someone. Like, just give me 2 minutes. I can't do this.
The splash.
The splash, yeah.
Anyway, spoiler territory now. So yeah, as I said, he goes back in time because his mum was murdered. Yeah, as we saw in the Justice League movie, he discovered that if he goes fast enough, he can travel back in time. And, well, he revisited that in this film because he thought if he can do that, maybe he can go back far enough and change something, like saving his mum from being murdered, which he does, and it ends up changing the timeline for the worst, because there are no metahumans. The only person that we know of that exists is Batman and Supergirl.
There's no other superheroes out there. And of course, this whole time Flash is thinking, we need to find Superman, we need to find, Clark Kent. And up until, they find Supergirl, he's adamant that, it's Clark Kent, it's Superman that we need to find. And of course, it's not that.
Yeah. But yeah, that's just because the timeline has changed, and as Batman explains in the film, time isn't linear. Yeah. So it's not just changing one point on a timeline will change just the things that happen afterwards. It changes everything in the past as well. So, Batman not only looks different, but he's older, and Arthur Curry was never born, and I don't know, maybe Diana does exist. She's just never got introduced to modern civilization.
Yeah.
And, so things have changed, and, so when a big threat like Zod comes along, they can't do anything about it.
They can't really function from the Justice League, It's a lot different compared to what we used to.
Yeah.
And I really did enjoy seeing like the different takes and aspects on different heroes. And
yeah.
There's a bunch of Easter eggs later on which we'll describe thoroughly. But yeah, getting into the main plot point, he goes to find Bruce Wayne. It's been Michael Keaton, and they go to find what he thinks is Clark Kent, but it's actually Supergirl. Awesome fight scene in that Russia. Was it Russia they go to?
Yeah.
It's like a Russian facility, and they're just taking on all the bad guys there. They're getting out of it, and then Zod appears, and Michael Shannon, he wasn't in it for too long. It was kind of just, he was there. So action sequences in that film were really awesome. General Zod, wasn't in it for too long, but he made his presence known. It brought back memories from watching Man of Steel the first time, because that was an epic film. I saw some spoilers beforehand, only like the whole Dark Flash thing, but I didn't know who was going to be Dark Flash up until towards the end of it.
I figured it. Like, I just thought, looking at Dark Flash, I thought his suit kind of looked like a melted rubber suit. I just thought I could imagine the other Flash, just like his suit just melting onto his skin, and but yeah, it's it was a sad movie. It wasn't just sad like with the ending, like with his mum, because it turned out that he couldn't. Well, obviously it had to be that way. His mum had to die. It was an integral point in the timeline that would just end up changing everything for the worse if it didn't happen. So he basically, when he goes back in time to, it was basically his mum needed like a can of tomatoes for this pasta sauce that she was making, and the dad went out and got it, but he wasn't seen on the cameras with him getting it off the shelf. So they just presumed that wasn't his alibi because they couldn't properly prove it. So they thought that he killed her. So yeah, the Flash basically goes back to put a can of tomatoes in a shopping cart when she went shopping so that she'd have it and she wouldn't get murdered. But then he goes back and takes it out so that she'd die, because that's how it had to be. And it was very sad just seeing like he had to say goodbye. And
imagine having to, you spend that time trying to prevent to save your own parent, and then you have to sit there and watch them. Like it has to be that way for some reason.
Yeah.
A bit like Spider-Man, a canon event,
Yeah.
So canon event of something just has to happen, and you can't do it whatsoever. You can't change it, can't alter it, because the effects on everything else will just be greater than what it should be.
Yeah, and it's just things like that as well. Like what we were saying about Ezra Miller, it sucks what's happened, because they were really good in this film, like emotionally, and the comedy was really funny.
Yeah,
like it was a good balance, the action and the comedy. That seems to be a common problem with a lot of Marvel movies. They don't know when to quit with the humor. It's just like they have a serious moment and then they take away from it by putting in a shit joke that didn't need to be there.
Yeah.
And with this, it was a good balance.
And the character himself, he's the one to make jokes. He's quippy a bit like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So you're going to come into this film, and if you know a bit of them already, okay, they're going to be quippy, they're going to have humour to them.
Yeah.
That's their character at the end of the day. But when you have like Captain America or fucking like another character just making Vision making jokes, it's like, no,
it feels wrong.
Yeah.
But I think it was good with this as well. With Barry meeting his younger self, he noticed how annoying he was, like how much, like he's got big energy. He talks really fast because and he just he's kind of obnoxious. And I think the Barry that we know, the one that went back in time, he was more serious in this film. I think not just because of that, noticing how annoying he is, but also just he's realised the gravity of what he's done.
Yeah.
And he knew he had to fix it, and it was it was serious. And he had like a moment in the film where he's trying to put across to his younger self how important this was.
Yeah.
And how serious it was. Because of course, he couldn't say, like, obviously he could say that it could mess up the timeline, but he couldn't say why he went back, because of his mum. They got to a point in the movie at the end with like the final fight, and they, Batman died and Supergirl died, and so they went back in time again, try and save them, try and win the fight, but it just wouldn't work, and they just, Barry, the older Barry, he knew that this timeline was doomed. It had to, it had to die. It had to be this way. But the younger Barry couldn't accept it, and that's what turned him into Dark Flash. Just constantly, just years of being driven mad, because he was older, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Just years of trying to fix this timeline. Because it would be heartbreaking to know. He became
so obsessed, didn't he? Over it, and
it would, like, it's understandable, because it would be heartbreaking to think, like, not only would you have to accept that your mum has to die, but also your timeline, you yourself have to die, because it's just a doomed timeline, because everything was just falling apart. You could see other multiverses and stuff. They were all colliding, and so that's when we saw some cameos.
So I really appreciated Christopher Reeves coming into it and then playing the OG Superman theme tune. But man, the CGI is so bad.
Yeah, I know. And the same. It's the same with like all the cameos, because they're all like kind of shitty CG.
There was a big one as well, a big cameo, and I didn't expect it because I managed to avoid spoilers in that direction. And we got to see Nicolas Cage come back as Superman. I mean, originally he was meant to play Superman before.
Yeah, Superman Lives.
What's the whole story behind that?
There's a movie called Superman Lives, and I think it was in like the late 80s, early 90s or something. And I think they'd written a script and everything. They were about to start filming. They had the suit and everything. But yeah, they just cancelled it. I don't know why. So I think they kind of just did this because a lot of people know about it.
Yeah.
About the film. So they thought, oh, fuck it, let's just add a cameo. Just so people would be like, oh yeah, this movie, this is the closest the film got to actually existing.
And you mentioned to me about Tim Allen being Brainiac.
I saw things. I don't know if it was just a rumor or what, but yeah, about Tim Allen playing Brainiac. I kind of wish we saw that.
Yeah.
That would have been just funny. But I think that was the problem with this scene, though. It was kind of funny. Not just the CGI, but also, like, you see Nicolas Cage in this. You can't really take it seriously.
It's just something you don't expect.
Yeah.
Really weird stuff. But it was cool, though, to see that. And there were other cameos in that. And I've only seen the film once, so Dan, you'll have to take over for me because I can't remember.
Christopher Reeves, Nicolas Cage. We also saw, wasn't it like the Batman from, like, the very first TV series, like, back in the 1930s or something?
Adam West Batman.
Oh, yeah, no. It was Adam West. Yeah. I thought it was black and white. No, yeah, I think it was Adam West, wasn't it?
Adam West, because he was running with Robin. Yeah, it was only like a still image, wasn't it?
If you don't look at it properly, yeah, because I thought it was, first time watching it, I thought it was like the very first like 1930s TV series, but yeah, we saw Adam West. I can't remember his name. I think his second name was also Reeves, although he wasn't actually related to Christopher Reeves. He was like the first or second guy to play Superman.
Oh, wasn't it George something? George.
Yeah, it was something like that. Yeah. I think he ended up killing himself in real life.
Jesus.
Yeah. But yeah, we saw him, and then we saw, like, I guess in his universe, his equivalent of the Flash, and it was like the Golden Age Flash with the tin helmet with the wings on it and everything.
I was annoyed that we didn't get a cameo from Grant Gustin. Is it Gustin or Austin?
Grant Gustin.
Grant Gustin.
Yeah.
From
I thought they would have. I thought if anything, they were going to have him in it.
Like definitely pay his Flash off one final time.
Yeah.
The series
the show,
ended, right?
Yeah, show just finished. Yeah. Which is funny, actually. Just thinking of that, because
Ezra Miller appeared in one of his episodes.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. But no, I think the Flash TV series started, and then like a week later they announced Ezra Miller as the Flash in the Justice League, and then now it's like we get the first Flash film, and the Flash series ends.
Yeah,
it's kind of just weird how it works out like that.
Poetic.
Yeah. I guess they both kind of ended at the same time, because I don't know, like the reboot, because they're rebooting the universe.
Yeah.
The DC cinematic universe.
Like James Gunn stuff, yeah.
Yeah, so talking about that with the reboot and everything, I don't know what's going to happen now. So is Barry still going to be played by Ezra Miller, or is the timeline altered now for the reboot? Because
is he stuck in that timeline? Is he stuck where he is?
I don't know, because I mean, there are still some unanswered things with the film.
Yeah.
Because he did end up, even though he changed it so that his mum would still die, he changed the timeline still because he saved his dad from being arrested.
Yeah.
Because he moved the can of tomatoes.
So his dad would look up and the camera would see his face, that way he'd be innocent.
So the timeline has changed because Bruce Wayne comes along to meet him at like the courthouse,
and he's covered by paparazzi.
Yeah, for some reason I don't know why he's come along to meet him, but whatever. And it's George Clooney, randomly, and it definitely is him. I thought that it was going to be like, you're not Bruce Wayne, are you? Oh no, I'm George Clooney. That's Bruce Wayne over there. I'm just took a ride with him or something. But no, it was really random, and I really hope, like, I mean, to be fair, George Clooney as the billionaire playboy side of Bruce Wayne is okay, because he can play that kind of...
He's got that charm to him.
Yeah. But the more serious, proper side of Bruce Wayne, and the Batman side of him, which is basically the same, he's not good.
No.
It's the same person. It's just George Clooney in a batsuit.
He just put his Halloween costume, started walking
around. Yeah. So I really hope that Barry's just going to try and change things again. I don't know how, because I guess his dad's going to he's going to go back to prison.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I very much doubt we're going to have George Clooney as Batman again.
Yeah, and with the controversy as well, I kind of want to see more Flash with Ezra Miller, but I can understand where people are coming from with this whole shit that's going on. It's difficult. So I mean, if they're going to do another Flash film and recast him, I'd be kind of okay with that, but I kind of prefer seeing,
because I think they just did a really good job in this film, which is why it sucks with everything that's happened. But I mean, what I was saying, I've said it a couple of times. Well, I mentioned earlier, there's still some things that haven't been covered. Who actually killed the mum? He didn't go back to try and prevent it, like go back and try and find out who did it.
Yeah, there's still a mystery to it, but I mean, we kind of know who it is anyway.
Yeah, so. Like we know that, like in the comic books, it's
Reverse
Flash. And but I said to you before, I don't like Reverse Flash. I think he's a good character. It's just his backstory, his motive for being the Reverse Flash is just compared to, like, it doesn't fit his motive, like why, like his motive doesn't really line up with the grievous things that he's doing, because he's just like, he used to be the Flash's #1 fan, and then the Flash ruined his life somehow by saving his life, and you know, because he wanted to, he's from the future and he wanted to be the Flash in his time, but then the Flash went to the future and saved the day, and you know, when he was supposed to do it, and it kind of ruined things. But I just hate that. So I think
he's very petty, isn't he?
Yeah. He's unnecessarily petty. So I think it would be better if, like with Dark Flash, Reverse Flash in like live action should just be like a rogue Barry.
Yeah.
A variant of him, which is what I was hoping would happen in this film. But yeah, it's just kind of up in the air now. I don't know what's going to happen. If they do keep Ezra Miller, I'd like maybe just keep him as Reverse Flash, just a rogue Barry Allen trying to fix the timeline and just doing fucked up things trying to do it. So yeah, I think that's about it.
Overall, yeah, Flash was pretty awesome to go and watch.
CG wasn't great.
CGI was terrible.
Yeah.
But I kind of looked past it.
Yeah. Story itself was pretty good.
The actors and the characters held it up. And it was a cool story to tell. Going back and seeing all the cameos, seeing even Ben Affleck back as Batman was awesome.
Yeah.
He did a really good job.
I think I was going to mention with that, something I noticed. He says at the end, at the end of his last scene when he's talking with Barry.
The sequence of them, yeah.
Yeah, he says, Barry says, like, maybe we could hang out, get a bite to eat or something. He said, not this time, maybe next time, or maybe another time. And it kind of, Ben Affleck was never my favourite, but it kind of, you know, made me feel a bit sad watching it, because that's like his last line. This is the last time we're going to see him, because he's not going to be Batman anymore, so there's not going to be another time.
Reminds me of War Machine from Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
Iron Man 1.
Yeah,
maybe next time, baby.
Yeah, next time, baby, but no. Yeah, so, and yeah, Michael Keaton also said that as well, I think. He said the same line, because it's kind of duality with it being Bruce Wayne.
Seeing him die twice was painful.
Yeah, that was hard. Yeah.
The kamikaze into the ship was like, oh crap, okay. But the second time around when he's on his knees and he's on the floor, it's like, oh.
Yeah, but also with that, it was nice, like, he died doing what he loved. Like, he, like, sewing up his wounds in the mirror and stuff. It was, this is where Batman, like, this is where Bruce Wayne belongs.
He got a kick and enjoyment out of it all, didn't he?
Yeah.
He liked it.
Like, years of seclusion and stuff, wasn't living his life. He's glad that if he was going to die, he died out there doing something better. So, yeah. Anyway, overall, rating.
What's your verdict on the film?
Really good. Story, really good. CG, really bad. Characters, yeah, I think everything's just really good. It was just the CG that was the main thing. I say 8.59.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it was just a solid movie, because I know with like Guardians and Spider-Verse, I gave them both an 8.
Yeah.
But with this, I think it was simple to follow. It was a good story and everything. It was just that one thing with the CG.
Yeah.
With those films, the story got a bit choppy.
Yeah.
You know, it was very rushed at times, and also it did have certain problems, like with CG, or with, like you said, with Spider-Verse had the audio problem and everything.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think 8.59 is good.
That's a lot higher than what I'm going to give it.
Really?
Yeah. 7 out of 10.
Oh.
But I really enjoyed the film, don't get me wrong.
It's just the CG.
I'm taking a point off the CGI, Ezra Miller's actions.
Yeah.
And that the chance we won't even probably get to see him again.
Yeah.
And no Grant Gustin.
Gustin.
Yeah. I keep saying Austin or Gustin. No Grant Gustin.
Yeah.
So 3. So I thought that was very fair.
Yeah.
But still a film that I'd love to go and see again, which I might do next week, actually.
Yeah.
We also have Secret Invasion, which is coming out next Wednesday. But we have decided that we're not going to do each episode each week because it'll be long, tiresome, and a bit boring. Yeah. And we're just going to, speculate and over-speculate and become those YouTubers that think, this is going to happen. Oh, no, he's going to die next week. Oh, no, this character's going to appear. It's going to happen this way. So, no. We're going to wait until the whole thing's come out and then judge it and review it as an overall series.
I mean, we'll watch it every week because... we're just impatient like that.
Exactly, yeah. We'll watch every week, but we're going to review the whole thing when we've seen the whole thing.
Yeah, just do it as a big chunk. Yeah.
But really looking forward to it, though.
Yeah. I think it just looks like that old style of Marvel. Like lately it just a lot of wacky nonsense.
I want serious tone. I want Winter Soldier vibes.
Yeah, I just want it to get back on track because I feel like it got to a good place and then it just dropped. So, I think it's just Guardians Volume 3 and Secret Invasion. My hopes are rising a little bit again. Yeah. So I'm just hoping it's going to get back on track, but, we'll see.
See how it goes anyway. But thanks for listening again for The Flash. Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed it too. Let us know what you think in the comments.
Bye.
See you next time. Bye.